What's up, dudes? We have a absolute monster of an electric bike here today. It's called the Tesway X9 all-wheel drive. It is 4,000 watts peak power, dual motor. They say we can do 120 miles of range on this thing, which is never gonna happen. I can promise you that. List price is $18.99, but I do have a discount link down below this video. So if you do decide you want to buy this thing, use that link and my code to get the best price and support this channel. So should you buy the Tesway X9 all-wheel drive? I really don't know. I'm going to show you everything about it today, and then you can make up your mind. Here's what it looks like when you get out of the boxes and the packaging removed. This e-bike is huge, so the first thing we're going to do is remove the battery to reduce the weight a bit while building. Get this monster on the motorcycle stand. Let's take a look at the battery. It's a 48 volt, 30 amp hour with 1440 watt hours of energy, which is big, but so is this bike. So of course this e-bike is rolling on the tall 26x4 Fatties Kenda brand, Kenda Crusade, with some relatively deep knobby tread. The geared hub motor on the front is Tesway branded. They say it's good for 2,000 watts of peak power, 180 millimeter rotor up front. We can see it will be running 4 piston hydraulic brakes. Gotta drop that wheel right in those dropouts, which is easy to do when you have the right tools. Front wheel attaches with these guys. Snug them down properly, bro. Like your life depends on it. Motor 1, check. Then of course we get another one of those same motors on the rear wheel. We can see it's also running 4 piston hydraulics on the rear and 7 gears on a Shimano cassette with a basic Shimano tourney derailleur. Now it is a full suspension e-bike, so it's got a rear shock. This is the HLT 100. Here's a look at everything going on back there. We can see the seat will be limited by the suspension, how far we can drop it. So a little bit of travel on that suspension. We'll feel it out in a few. It's also got mounting points on the rear swing arm to put a rack on. And really just kind of a unique looking frame with all this geometry, welds, bars. So seat is adjustable, obviously. You can always put a longer seat post in there, but it'll limit how far you can drop it down. Doesn't look like this one's set up to have a rack on the front. And since it is full suspension, of course it has the shock on the front. Now it's not the inverted style dual crown fork, which is the better way to roll, but it does have, suspension on the front. It's got adjustments for the compression on the right stanchion and the good old preload on the other side. Handlebars are relatively flat. Here's what the seat looks like on this one. Seems all right. We'll see how comfy it is when we go far away on the Tesway. Apparently they found it really important to have this built into the paint, a warning to wear a helmet and keep your light on when riding at night. That is not a sticker. The blue paint does have a little bit of a shimmer to it. I think it looks quite nice. That's why I chose blue, but they do have other color options linked below. So if you want to use a throttle, you got to install it yourself. It ships with no throttle, maybe for like legality reasons in some places. I don't know, but it does have 7 gears on your basic Shimano shifter. Pretty typical stuff. Brake levers are semi-log. Ergonomic grip on the left, and here is the controls. It's got the USB-C charging port on the bottom of the display. Metal pedals. So we're gonna weigh this bike. My jack weighs 13 pounds on the dime. So I'm gonna put the whole bike up on there. And it weighs 104.8. So subtract a 13-pound jack and then add the battery, which is not a light battery, 16.2 pounds. Plus we still need to add this headlight. But first I wanna hop on the bike, see what it feels like. I'll go ahead and throw the battery in there so we can get a feel for what it feels like with the battery on it. And I'm pretty tall, so I might not make this bike look as big as it is, but it's a pretty big bike. Swinging a leg on over, here's what I look like on it. I can stand, touch the seat, and also reach the floor. I'm 6'5", so with the seat on maximum height, okay. Rear suspension is feeling real soft. It's got some pretty good travel to it, actually. Feels all right, bro. Soft front suspension too. First impressions, it seems like it'd be all right for some light trail riding. So the bike gets you up on the handlebar just a little bit, for a tall rider anyway, with the seat on max height. Here's what my pedal stroke would look like. Seems to be designed for actually like a shorter rider than me, which obviously seat can drop down, way down. Here's what I look like with seat on minimum. So It's like a big bike, but I feel like it's kind of designed for a shorter rider, kind of. A big bike for a short rider, kind of. It's my analysis. So they also give us a charger. It's a 3 amp charger, so it'd take about 10 hours to charge the battery from empty to full. And they give us some of these flimsy ass fenders. I personally don't like these things, but hey, I'm sure they'll block the water. Also included in the box is a phone holder and a lock that I would not trust anything with. Not in the city of Los Angeles anyway. They give us a manual and stuff as well. So let's turn this thing on, see what it's all about, then we'll get it out for a rip. So the display is locked, but they give us 2 NFC chips. You just throw it up there. Boom, there you go. So color display looks like the same thing we saw on the other Tesway bike I reviewed. It's 53%. So we get our percentage down there, and then you can choose your motor mode, and you get the basic old trip, max speed, average speed, voltage of the battery. But you can tap the I button and toggle between rear motor or dual motor. So I'm gonna throw the headlight on, finish building this thing, and then you know what time it is. All right, dudes, we're gonna run this bike through a series of tests and see how it performs, and then see where we end up on range. Very first impressions, those plastic fenders are a little flappy, and suspension actually feels quite soft. And we're gonna give this thing a go on the 20% grade. Ready, go! So it actually doesn't like give you all like a crazy launch. It's relatively gentle. Let's get a bit of a rollout here. So I feel like once you kind of get a little speed, it gives you maybe a little more power. Yeah, so I can tell once you're rolling about 15, 20, then you kind of get more of like a powerful, strong power application, which is absolutely not a bad thing at all. Sometimes if you get too much torque off the line, it's overwhelming. When they deliver power like this, it makes it a little bit more rideable. We'll see how it does on the sand by the beach though. Before we do that, let's do a 0 to 20 launch and see what it's like here. So yeah, it gets us going here. 10, 15, 20, and about 27. So yeah, what I'm experiencing here is like it feels like it kind of gives you more power once you're going about 10 or 15 miles an hour, which is cool. I like that. I think some of these bikes, you know, they're pushing too much torque off the line. Now there are, you know, applications for that, but sometimes, you know, like I'm saying, if you get too much power off the line, it's too much, man. It can make the launch, it can make it feel like just really jarring to try and ride. And it's also really hard on the components like the motors. So we'll try the pedal assist modes here in a minute when we get to the beach. Going around corners, you can floor it on dual motor. It's, you know, the power's not like overwhelming, and you have the really large, tall tires, so it's not like excessively torquey. But you can really just kind of feel it pull you through a corner, and it feels a lot safer than, say, you know, like riding a scooter with 8-inch wheels going around a corner, full throttle on with the dual motor. And let's do a little top speed run with a bit of a tailwind here. So we did 36 in the headwind. We got a couple speed bumps coming here too, so we'll try the suspension at full speed likely. 20, oh, there's one bump. I don't know if we're gonna hit any faster or not, but here's a speed bump at 30. Whoa! So the rear suspension definitely bottomed out there. I thought I'd get crappy and try a new location, but we ran out of runway there. You can see if we can do faster than 36. All right, so I was pulling 22 amps according to this. And can we pedal at these speeds? No. Well, we're not on top gear. So onboard says 36, my GPS says 35, 36. Yeah, just right at 36. Maybe you could get 37 on the GPS with a little downhill. All right, so we're gonna try this thing on the sand in a few, but let's try just a bit of off-road here since it is a mountain bike. That front fender is totally flapping against the bottom of the frame right now, so I'd probably just take those little flappy fenders off personally. If you're looking for a more stylish bike, one that, I don't know, you could maybe mount it so it doesn't hit. In terms of the suspension and stuff on here, rear suspension is actually pretty soft. It's better than I thought it was going to be for, you know, some casual off-roading. Front shock feels fine as well. Like, this really isn't like harsh at all. and plenty of power, kind of going through a little bit of sand here, just still throttling only. I have not really used the pedals at all. Yeah, this thing just feels like a little dirt bike kind of, bro. All right, I promised we'd pedal. Let's give them a shot. So we're on pedal assist 5. Do we have a torque sensor on this or a cadence sensor? Oh, that is a cadence sensor because I am not applying any power to this chain at all. And we are just taking off like I'm touching the throttle without even applying any power to the pedals. So let's bump it down to pedal assist 1 and dual motor. What does that do? So we have 7 gears here. I'm on gear 6. So on pedal assist 1, this feels natural. I could bump it down to like pedal assist, or leave it on pedal assist 1, and gear number 3 feels right. So it'll make you go about 11. And if you bump it up 1, then it'll take you to the next speed tier essentially, which is a considerable jump to about 17 or 18. You know, these cadence sensors aren't quite as natural as torque sensors, not even remotely close to as natural as torque sensors. Pedal assist 3 is gonna, I don't know, pedal assist 3 is gonna get us moving too quick to even be riding out here actually. So this is a fast electric bicycle. This thing just wants to go fast from what I've experienced so far. So pedaling, pedal assist 3, man, this thing, yeah, 25 is where it takes you on pedal assist 3, and then pedal assist 4 is going to be somewhere between 25 and 36. So in terms of pedaling, if you want to like have it on pedal assist 5, make it more chill mode, you just press that I button, put it on single motor, and you get about half the power then. So it feels a little less power hungry, obviously, on single motor. So I'm actually real curious how this one's going to do on the sand. Let's get it up to speed, about 17, and that's when it gives us the full torque. And once we start slowing down, I can feel it's not wanting to give us like the full amps. So you really got to get this thing out here above 15 miles an hour in order to get full amperage. But by not giving those full amps at slower speeds, it's going to help preserve the motors. Now, obviously, we can get through the soft sand there a bit, and oh yeah, man, once we get this thing up to speed, it's got a lot of power and it gives you all the beans. So yeah, we get down here and really rip now that nobody's out here. Wow, yeah, going 30 on the hard packed sand, obviously. And let's get on the softer sand now and see how long it'll hold actually. So once we start getting the softer sand, it kind of, yeah, we're just kind of losing momentum here, and it's pulling. Now I'm on gear 1. And we're just kind of crawling along here at about 4 miles an hour or so. So eventually these motors are going to give out here. I don't think it can do this for a long time. But dual motors on these tall knobby tread tires, ooh, I lost my balance. This is a pretty good setup for this. And here is the sand performance on the Tesway X9. Pedaling it just a bit here, we're actually starting to pick up speed again. So it really just depends on like how hard or how soft the sand is, because the real soft sand is about the absolute harshest conditions you could put an e-bike through. And this bike is handling it, so no overheating or anything, and we've been beating on this thing for a minute here. Do a little good old-fashioned burnout in the sand here. The knobby tread just grips so good, it just wants to launch. What if we have full speed on the rear motor and then hit the sand a bit and then engage front motor?
Like, come on, let's go.
All right, finally a stretch where we could probably find where pedal assist 4 gets us to. This is actually quite a fun bike to ride. Yeah, right around 31. If you want to go faster than that, then pedal assist 5 gives you just a little bit more of a bump. All right, let's hit the California incline, 85-foot climb. 12% average grade, and we'll see how it performs. So these dual motor e-bikes handle quite a bit differently than a single motor e-bike, and sometimes that front wheel can tend to spin out if it gives you too much power going up a hill. Makes the handling a little bit not as nimble as like a single motor e-bike, but that front motor is pulling us right up in unison with the rear motor pushing us. This bike is fun to ride, bro. I mean, it's got a big battery, but the battery is not like overwhelmingly like weighing the bike down, making it super lethargic. So let's see how long it takes to get up this hill. Oh, you're good. Ready, go. So it gets up to 10, and then after you get to, yeah, so I was saying 18 amps, 20 amps, 21 amps, 22 amps. And now we're getting, what it says, 22 amps, 25 miles an hour. And 27 miles an hour, 28 miles an hour, still just gaining, and we're at about 32 seconds before I grab the brakes. So brakes feel real good. Let's see how good they are. 4-piston hydraulics on relatively large rotors. Of course, they are hydraulics, so stopping power feels real smooth per usual, and feel confident barreling in towards this wall, which isn't always the case. So if you need to do an emergency stop for about 30, you can pull on those 4-piston hydraulics, and yeah, great brakes, bro. So about 9 miles into this ride, is showing 82% and 50.7 volts. We're gonna head on home, see where the final range is. I'll share my final thoughts on this bike along the way. So you can see the current MSRP of this bike linked below the video in the description box. I also have a coupon code down there to help reduce the price even further for you, and it also helps support my reviews if you did use my link and code below when you bought this bike. If you know, this is the bike for you. So my final thoughts on the X9. Well, one thing that I don't like, yeah, as you know, these stupid plastic fenders, man, they're just flopping around. Sure, they're functional. I don't like them. I don't think they look good, but they don't sound good, that's for sure. I do like the color of this bike. Suspension is fine. You know, it actually feels a lot better than I was expecting when I saw it out of the box. That's like, in terms of suspension, a comfy bike to be on. Now, size-wise, you know, it's a little bit small for me. I'm not really getting even close to the full pedal stroke, but I do not feel incentivized to pedal this bike whatsoever. This thing kind of feels like a little crotch rocket, man. Like, it's making me lean forward a little bit, and we're just whipping, dude. Like, this thing's pretty fun to ride. Really fun to ride, actually. Now, claimed range, you know, there's no way anybody's getting 100 miles on this thing. It's a pretty, you know, it's got some weight to it. What was that, like 105 pounds? So, I mean, you really need to use the power of this bike to ride at a reasonable speed. Yeah, sure, you can pedal it, but it's got a cadence sensor. And I mean, basically it's like 2 speeds, dude. You're either going like 11 or 18, because that's how cadence sensors work. So pretty much the way I see it, this thing is just like a little, kind of like a crotch rocket, dude. You got the throttle here, it's fun to ride. So let's see where we end up on range. And that kid just got himself ran over by a monster truck being in the wrong lane. And man, there's something about this bike that just makes me want to go fast. I feel like this is one of the fastest ride homes I've ever had from the beach. All right, dude, just wrapping up the route here. Coming up on almost 19 miles. Average speed is just over 16 miles an hour, which is quite a bit faster than usual, considering we did the whole route in an hour and 10 minutes. I don't know, man, something about this bike, I think just leaning forward on it, you know, pretty high power dual motor bike makes me just want to use that battery for speed and not range, because you can't have both, bro. Gas tank's only so big, but so it does say 63% remaining, but the voltage says 48.4. So I'd say that's actually kind of more about 50% battery. So Tesway X9 has been a joy to ride. If you want to grab one, use that link down below the video. Click on the link, use my coupon code. It'll get you the best price and help support these reviews, bro. But if you don't want to buy this bike, watch this video right here. I promise you, you're gonna love it. Catch you over there.